We actually, and I have to say this, I hope Fox doesn't turn off, but we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016. I won the second election. Okay, I won it by a lot. You know, when they say Biden won, the smart people know that didn't it? A lot of people said, well, sir, the election was so bad. You'll be in 1 year. A lot of people in this room, you'll be back in 6 weeks, sir. But it's a bad system in many ways, very bad, very dangerous system.
You just heard from former President Donald Trump argue that democracy is a very dangerous system during his CPAC speech last Saturday. Now, what blows my mind is if you listen to the entirety of his speech, there were some pretty strong moments. We're gonna show you some of those moments in just a moment. I didn't mean to be repetitive there, but he can't let go of 2020. And it's so, like, it's actually hurting him and he doesn't even realize it. If he goes back to his old hits and just sticks to that, he's got a good chance of being president again.
He has an excellent chance as it is right now. Even with the whiny little bitch that he is, he's almost definitely gonna win the Republican nomination. And you sure Biden's gonna beat him? So you're looking at the favorite to be the next president of the United States. And that is, man, God, America, what? This is a bad state of affairs. I mean, you saw that just real quick to double down on what you said, Anna. He's like, a lot of people in this room said I should be back in 6 weeks after the election, but we have a very bad, very dangerous system. We have a very bad system because you couldn't do a coup within 6 weeks to get back in charge after you lost an election. That's a very dangerous system.
Very dangerous system.
You don't know that there's no method or process in the United States Constitution for putting the guy who lost back in charge 6 weeks later? I mean, even if you had somehow won and there is still no process to bring you back in 6 weeks. You just made that up. But again, Republicans love being lied to, so they ate this stuff up.
So listen, this story should concern everyone because what you just saw gives you a sense of who Donald Trump is and how he is not willing to give up power. Now, his stunts didn't work the first time around, but should he get elected again, who knows what kind of tricks he's gonna pull, what he's going to attempt to do to remain in power should he lose his re-election bid again. I say all this because in other portions of his speech, he touched on issues that are incredibly popular with the electorate. So I'm gonna give you some examples, starting with this.
We're not going back to people that want to destroy our great social security system, even some in our own party. I wonder who that might be, that want to raise the minimum age of Social Security to 70, 75, or even 80 in some cases, and that are out to cut Medicare to a level that it will no longer be recognizable.
Listen, Trump might be a whiny bitch, but he's not stupid. And he realizes how incredibly popular that kind of messaging is. Now, has anyone actually proposed raising the retirement age to 80? Not yet, but he knows exactly how to prey on the fears of the electorate and posture as an individual who wants to protect those incredibly popular programs. Now, yeah, and I think that will give him a leg up in the election for sure.
Enormous leg up, not even close, okay? So, look, guys, there's two different reasons why Trump is popular with Republicans, and people almost never talk about the second. So the first one is obvious. Yeah, right wing has this entitlement complex and victimhood. There's no better example than Donald Trump. Oh, we should be in charge no matter what. Oh, I don't like the others. I want to oppress the others. Yes, that is true for about half of Republicans, okay? But there's the other half that love Trump for a different reason, which is he's anti-establishment and he's a populist. So you might be a fake populist, but he's still a populist. So he knows enough to say, I'm gonna protect your Social Security, I'm gonna protect your Medicare against the bad guys, the global elites that are coming to get it, etc. The other Republicans are the global elites. I mean, not in the way that Trump says it, global elites, he means Jews, right? But in terms of actual elites, the people in power of all different backgrounds, yeah, they definitely want to come after your Social Security and Medicare, and they want to do that so they could lower taxes on the rich, which is what Trump did, right? So it's a mixed bag, and that populist message is very, very popular. And there's no way a corporate robot like DeSantis can stand up to it. By the way, there's not a good, like, why isn't a Democrat saying that? Why isn't a Democrat
Yes,
saying they're gonna raise the retirement age to 70, 75, 80? These sons of bitches, I'm not gonna let them get away with it.
Okay, so that's an excellent point. The closest that we've seen a Democrat do that was Biden's stunt during the State of the Union address, which was good, right? But I also think that the way you present that argument matters, and Trump is just better at speaking publicly about these things, right? Biden did a good job in calling out the Republican Party and getting them to, at least for that moment, pretend as though they don't want to cut Social Security, right? So it was a different context. But nonetheless, I think the way that Trump messages this, even though I don't believe him for a second, is convincing enough to win over a big enough portion of the electorate to get him reelected again. And I'm concerned about that precisely because of the very first clip we showed you, indicating that he has absolutely no respect for our democratic process or the results of our democratic process. That kind of authoritarian mentality is terrifying. Now, group that in with his popular and populist messaging, and we should be concerned, right? Now, the other bit of populist messaging he engaged in had to do with United States foreign policy. Let's take a look at that.
We are never going back to a party that wants to give unlimited money to fight foreign wars that are endless wars, that are stupid wars. If you look at Ukraine, and we all feel so badly about it, but why isn't NATO putting up dollar for dollar with us? We put up $140 billion, and they put up just a tiny fraction of that. And you know, we all want to see success, but it's far more important to them than it is to us because of that location. Can't keep spending hundreds of billions of dollars protecting people that don't even like us. Now, you know, in business, if you did that, what you do is you put up the money and then you say, but listen, we own half your country in case you win. I'm the only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent, and very easily, World War III, very easily. And you're going to have World War III, by the way. You're going to have World War III if something doesn't happen fast. I got along very well with Putin, even though I'm the one that ended his pipeline. Remember, they said, Trump is giving a lot to Russia. Really? Putin actually said to me, if you're my friend, I'd hate like hell to see you as my enemy. He's the only president in modern history who did not have any new wars, no new wars. I finished some old ones.
Now, compare what you just heard to Sarah Huckabee Sanders' response to Biden on the night of the State of the Union, because it was nothing more than rah, rah, support our foreign policy, support our troops, which shows you just how out of touch the establishment Republican Party is with their own electorate. So there's that.
Okay, so let me, look, he's going populist here too. He's saying, why doesn't NATO chip in? That's not such a bad point. Okay, now the way that he wants to force NATO to chip in is extreme, but going in that direction is not a bad point at all. So a lot of people go, hey, yeah, wait, why are we paying the whole bill? By the way, you want to know the real answer to why we're paying the whole bill? Because it goes straight to our defense contractors. So our corrupt government loves that we're overpaying, right? So number two, he then says, you know, if we give money in business, we own half your country. Wait, if we try to own half of Ukraine, how would that be different than Russia trying to own half of Ukraine? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And one of the main reasons I'm against Donald Trump is because I'm afraid that he is the most likely to start World War III because he's an idiot. And he might go, oh, yo, I'm gonna prevent World War III by nuking them first.
We came extremely close to a hot war with Iran. I mean, he assassinated the top general in Iran. He ripped up the Iran nuclear deal. It's actually miraculous that we didn't engage in a hot war with Iran.
But the bottom line is, how do you beat a fake populist like Donald Trump? You don't do it with an establishment candidate. And an establishment candidate that's like, oh yeah, our foreign policy where we spend endless money on people and never get anything back, and enrich the oil companies' defense. You're not gonna beat them that way. The country's too angry to win in that situation. You beat a fake populist with a real populist. But our number one problem getting to a real populist that can actually be logical and fight for the American people is Democratic leadership and mainstream media. Those are the two sets of people who do not want you to have a populist leader under any circumstance.
Now, just to give you a sense of how Trump's messaging sat with Republican voters, a straw poll at CPAC indicated that 62% of Republican voters would prefer Trump over DeSantis. DeSantis got 20%.
No, the jury's almost all in. So the indictments could make him more popular. Maybe it throws a monkey wrench into this. Maybe DeSantis or someone else can make electability a real issue. So it's not not written in stone yet, right? But right now, Trump has an overwhelming likelihood to win the Republican nomination. Yes, in this poll, DeSantis didn't show up to CPAC. CPAC's become more extreme if that's possible. But having said that, every poll is showing these kind of numbers. 62 to 20, it's not close. They love their messiah, Donald Trump. At best, DeSantis is an apostle. So it doesn't look like right-wing media and right-wing donors are going to be able to stop Trump. They're all on DeSantis' side. They're all aligned against Trump, but it looks like it's not gonna work right now. He is the odds-on favorite to be the Republican nominee. The only reason why everybody doesn't agree to that is because corporate media, both mainstream and right-wing media, are working so hard to do positive propaganda for DeSantis and negative propaganda against Trump, and of course, as an aside, progressives. So that's the only reason you don't know the obvious, which is that Trump's almost definitely gonna win this nomination. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.